What's up, everyone? Today we're going to be working on a tool to remove these mains. Now, these main caps are pretty robust for what they do. However, when you remove them, they need to come straight out. And I've seen a lot of different ways to do it online that are cringeworthy. My favorite one was taking a 2x4, putting it underneath there, giving a good whack. What are you thinking? I mean, A for creativity, F for what the we'll leave it there. Anyways, so we want to remove these the appropriate way. We have a couple different methods that GM recommends. They have a cool tool that goes on either side and you pry it and both sides come up at the same time. But the ones that I've seen GM generally recommend is actually a slide hammer that I keep wanting to call it a slide ruler. A slide hammer that you actually just bolt to the main somehow. I don't know. We're going to look at where the threads go inside there, and we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a slide hammer, because those slide hammers and the tools to remove this are not cheap. They are very expensive. And even the one that I found at a local automotive store you can loan, and it's free, but if you break it, they eat your deductible. Or not deductible, your deposit, and your deposit's like $120. And I was talking to someone, and they say, oh yeah, no, they break all the time. And I'm like, ooh, nope, we're not going to do that. So instead of trying to pry these things and have them go or whack them, and I don't know why you would even whack them, that was insane. We're going to go ahead and make ourselves a slide hammer, and we're going to make it with a metal bar, one of these really cool anchor bolts that you can actually get from Home Depot. I had a bunch of these down at our shop. They're used to mount, you pour your concrete and this sits inside the concrete, and then you bolt your light post or whatever to here and it holds it down. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to chop this little section off right here, weld it to here, and we're going to weld the exterior as well as a plug weld going in through the bottom, and we're going to put two holes right here so that we can thread into these mains and then pop it out. First, we need to make this thing a little bit thinner so that it fits, because we don't want to accidentally hit something like the reluctor wheel. But before we get into that, I have a couple of cool things. One, a big thank you for Uncle Tony at Uncle Tony's Garage. If you don't already watch that channel, you got to go over there. He is way smarter than most people I've ever encountered on YouTube. And mostly because, it's kind of like farmers insurance. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two. He's definitely seen a couple things, and a lot of things. Anyways, he does a Ask Tony live stream every single Sunday, like 8 o'clock for me. I don't know. I'm in the East Coast, so, or 9 o'clock. I think it's 9 o'clock for me, so I think it's 8 o'clock where we won't go to his page. He'll explain it. Anyways, he does a question and as well as a trivia night, and it's super fun. And last week I won a vintage shift knob, which is going to go in our Buick GS, even though the diagram for this is completely wrong. But I know what the R154 transmission's like. It's my favorite transmission, so I know how to shift that thing. I'm not worried. I just think this would be really cool to sit inside there. No matter how nice we get the car, this will kind of remind where it came from, and I don't know, I like vintage stuff, so that's really cool. We're going to keep that somewhere very, very safe. And the other thing is, how'd you guys like that intro? Now, I was going to ask you guys if you wanted me to change it or anything like that, but I showed my twins, which the reason why you guys didn't get a lot of content this past week, it was their first birthday. So, that would be why. Anyways, so I showed my twins it, and Samantha immediately looked up at me with a giant grin and was just like kind of like a happy giggle, like she loved it. So you guys are stuck with it. It is what it is. Can't change it now. So, she has spoken. Anyways, she loves the sound of this engine. It was the sound you hear is actually the sound of it cold start right before I pulled it out of the truck. So yeah, I have two gear heads in my hand, and that is awesome. Anyways, right, back to this. So we're gonna have to trim this up, trim that. We're going to bolt something here, and we're gonna actually, I'm probably gonna make a wooden handle. I was thinking about using the lead and casting lead, using it that way or making it that way, but I was thinking you guys can't really do that because most of you guys probably don't just have an abundant source of lead. I got it from plumbers. As they pull the old lead out, they have to get rid of it, and I use it for body fill, or I also use it for mostly making bullets for my black powder rifle. So that's why I have tons of lead. So I came up with a couple things. Now, when you're pulling these things out, they don't need a lot of force. They just need to come straight out. So I have an idea of how we're going to be able to make a handle for it without it being super heavy and out of stuff that you might have just kicking around. Like I said, you could pick this up for really, really cheap. This is just a chunk of steel. I wish it was a little bit thinner, but nothing I can't. And it's got to be fairly thick. You don't want it bending. So I wish I had something a little bit thinner, but I couldn't find anything thinner. So that's what we're going to use. So just stuff you have laying around. Maybe I might be able to save you a couple $100 on a proper tool to remove this. The other thing you're probably going to want, I mean, you can use it with a drill. I'm probably going to just drill it out. But a drill press would be really nice. I just don't want to move things around to get it out. You know, it's nice having a tool and not wanting to get at it because there's too much crap in the way. I need a really proper garage, so someday maybe we'll get there. However, we do have a really cool bandsaw kind of just squirreled away right there. We need to trim this lengthwise, widthwise, cut that, and get to work. So let's do this. Now that we went ahead and got this thing all cut, as well as this, I went ahead and just took the burrs off so that I wasn't cutting my hand and stuff. We need to drill our 3 holes, one for our plug weld on the back side of this, and our 2 for the through bolts going into the main. This right here, when we cut it, we went ahead and hit it with the grinder and put ourselves a nice bit of a chamfer so that when we go ahead and mate these 2 parts together, as you can see, there's that space in between. That will give us a nicer spot for us to weld. So that's the next step. We need to get these things drilled, and I'm going to just set this down because we'll use this in a minute. Now that we have this all set, we're going to set it down right here. Our magic number in between 2 holes right here is going to be 3.5. That's our magic number. This right here comes out to be 5.25, which means we're looking for 7/8 between the edge and the center of the hole, which is pretty straightforward. It should be, where's my Sharpie? So we're going to want the center of that as well. So 7/8 of an inch off. Sorry for you guys that don't use inches. And then go to the same on the other side. 7/8. And now we are sitting at, can't see, I'm blocking the light, sorry guys. We're going to want to find our center between the 2, which puts us right about here. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. And once we have our center mark, we're going to want to go ahead and put our punch right into there. And it's not the best punch in the world, so you might need to do it a couple times. It's just a Harbor Freight one, but hey, I've had really good luck with a lot of their stuff, especially if it breaks, you just throw it away and you buy a new one. But I am trying to get more and more actual name brand tools as I continue on, because it is inconvenient when you do have to go buy another one. So let's go ahead and drill those out. Oh, and we'll go ahead and find the center of that. I'm sorry guys, I forgot that I set this light up above us so that I can swivel it back and forth depending on what we're working on. However, we have it moved right now. So also, as the channel gets bigger and we have a little bit better budget for things, I'll make sure I get better lighting. But for right now, what we're working on is getting this weld on. That's right. So we have the 90 degree on here, and we made sure that she's nice and snug. She's where we want it. We'll turn this light on, and we'll get a couple tacks in here, get a good weld, and then get the inside of the plug weld. And then it's just a matter of finding what we want for the actual handle. So let's do it. All right, guys, look at that. I hit it with a little bit of a grinder just to see how the actual welds looked. They're not the best welds I've ever done, but as far as the tool goes, I think we are going to be okay. I don't want to abuse it too much. I don't think I'm going to end up bending anything. If anything, I'll bend this before I bend this. So like if I was to see if the welds were good, put it in the vise and bend it, or try breaking the weld, I think I'll end up bending this before the weld gives. But I think if we go over here, angle you guys down, we will find that we can easily go in between there, and our center holes are perfect. I actually think we did a good job, guys. Look at that. So we have the first part of it done. The rest of it is just to get a handle on it, and a nut, which will see if I have a nut for I think this is a 3/8 coarse thread, so I don't think I do, but I will look. This is not too shabby. I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out, especially seeing how it cost me nothing. It was just bits and pieces of head kicking around. Nice welds on it. It seems like it'll hold just fine, and you know, it's not my best fabrication job, but it's been a few years since I fabricated anything, which I did forget that I need a nut for this thing, so we'll go to the store and get that for tomorrow when we start pulling the engine apart, or so we can pull the engine apart. But for the handle, what I've chose to use was, this is actually a hilt to a custom lightsaber. A few years ago, and nerd alert right here, two things I love in this world other than my family is the cars. I love cars, absolutely, like obsessed with vehicles, and I'm obsessed with Star Wars, but that's neither here nor there. So why I said that is because I used to make custom lightsabers. I end up more just made them for myself, sold one of them, but there's just, I wasn't able to get into the market. So anywho, there you go, guys. That's the handle. And if you guys are curious to see what the lightsabers I used to make look like, this is one of them. It's supposed to be like a dark acolyte bad guy saber, kind of weathered, blah 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 blah. I really like the way it came out. And then this was supposed to be like a good guy saber. You can see where the button would go, and they take this one is you can see kind of where the blade would go, and they make cool noises. That's it turning on. Yeah, anyways, I'm a nerd. It's okay. I own that 100%. But like I said, it's been a few years since I made something really, really intricate, and I'm very, very glad to be finally building things again. I feel like a mind not doing things is the absolute worst thing for a mind. You want to constantly doing things. You want to constantly solving problems, whether it's making yourself a slide hammer or making lightsabers or building cars. So I'm very happy with the result of this. I'm glad that I'm saving money instead of spending money. And yeah, the only thing I need to go buy is a nut for this. And there we go. That's how you make a slide hammer for a removing LS mains. You could do the same thing for any of the other mains, just as long as it has the same type of idea where somehow the threads are going to bite into it and we're going to pull it out. We'll figure that out tomorrow, though. Until then, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. And let me know what you guys think of this episode in the comment section down below. Remember to hit that thumbs up. Hold on a second. Let me put this stuff down. If you like the comment, if you like this episode, remember hit that thumbs up. If you aren't subscribed already, remember to hit that subscribe button. It helps out greatly. I hope you guys are enjoying this project. I am so glad to finally be building things again. There's just something about building things, and I really love the intricate details of the build itself. So that's really what drives me, is the details. So if you guys like this content, remember hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. If you like the automotive vlogs and how to repair things, and you like old muscle cars, I really recommend you go over to Grease Rookie, and another channel would be Shop 209. They're working on some really awesome classic cars, and I would really like to see them, you know, just chase their passion. So other than that, guys, I hope you have yourselves a wonderful night. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, and remember, just try to stay warm, because it's really cold right now. Although, with the welding, definitely warmed up in here. Anyways, take care, guys. And remember, enjoy your family and your friends. Take care.